How to make your very own silicone doll, part one. So we're going to start with sculpting. I like to work with alien clay. And then as far as your tools, your fingers are going to be your best tools, but I also recommend a few of these. You guys can find a beginner kit on my website, or you're more than welcome to buy the full-size products as well. Alien clay is awesome because you can microwave it to make it softer. So here I am microwaving it. I'm going to do it in 30-second intervals, and I check it to see how the hardness is. I'm working with hard alien clay, by the way, and then that needed a little more, so I put it in again, and this is the right consistency, at least for me. It is going to be warm, but it feels amazing. Honestly, it's not too hot, and you're going to be able to mold it better. One thing I do want to say, you guys, is I am a self-taught sculptor, so a professional might teach you this differently, but this is how I do things. So I start by kneading my clay, and then I'm also going to have a little cup warmer next to me, and you will see in a second where I can just set my clay to keep it from becoming too cold and dry. I made about the size that I think I will need, and then what I do is I just start working from that piece of solid clay, and I start creating like what looks like a gingerbread man, and I just start like molding, just working the clay until I can come up with something that looks to me like a baby. I took off the head because it was giving me too much trouble, so I'm just gonna try to use my fingers, my hands, the tools, and anything I can to make this look like a baby. It's really hard to explain how to do this, but you will see what I mean if you try to do it yourself. It will be good if you have reference, like if you see here I have a star baby, but if you don't have a star baby, you can just use a picture off the internet. As you can see, I am trying to like basically carve out the shape of this baby. Right now my clay is actually already kind of firm, so I'm using the tools to kind of carve out and give it the shape that I want. In this part one, we're gonna basically, I'm gonna just show you guys my process and how I do it. And then by the end of this video, you will see just basic shapes. We're going to go into the fine details in the next video, which will be part two of sculpting. By the end of the entire series, we're going to learn how to sculpt the doll from start to finish, how to mold it, how to pour it in silicone, paint the silicone, seal it, and you'll have your very own baby. But for the purposes of this video, I am just trying to make it look as realistic as possible. There's so many ways that people do this, but this is just personally how I do it. I just keep working it and working it until I like what I see. I also started a Patreon where you guys can ask me very specific questions. Feel free to ask questions in these videos too, but if you are going to jump on this journey with me and you want to have like more direct answers to your very specific sculpts that you're working on, you can do the Patreon, and I will be more than glad to answer those questions for you. So as I'm looking at my sculpt, I realized that, the shoulders need to be smaller. I need to, move things here and there. And like, again, this is very hard to explain. So that's why I'm like trying to see if you guys can understand what I'm doing by just looking at it. I add some little creases, and I will polish all of these in our second video where it's going to be the detailing. But as of right now, I'm just trying to develop a shape that I am happy with. So here's a part of the alien clay that was on the cup warmer, and it melted a little bit too much. So here I am just trying to put it together. It's a little bit hot, but it actually feels really good, and it doesn't stick to your fingers. It comes right off. So I'm going to knead this little bit, and I'm going to create the head. And then I'm also going to use a little piece of this to do the belly. So I'm adding some here on the belly, and then I'm also going to make sure that I do like all the little creases where I think they should go. And again, you guys, I am not a perfect artist. This is just the best that I can do. I hope that you guys can learn from this and just make it that much better. Here I am just carving out more details, and I'm actually going to take a little piece of the clay that was warm, and I'm going to add it to make chest, protruding a little bit. And then I'm just going to smoothen it out with this tool. Until it's, enough, because I'm not going to go into details today, but just, for the most part where I want it to be. It's important to make the hips narrower. My sculptures always tend to have like broad hips, and then I remember, oh yeah, it's a baby, and then I keep bringing them inside. Also, the shoulders is something that should be a little more narrow. So you'll see me that I often kind of like dip them in. Again, just trying to carve out some more details, but we will go into specific details on the next video. And now I'm going to put together a head. You guys saw me remove it before, so now I'm just going to insert a toothpick or a cotton swab, without the ends, and then just put the head inside and just smoothen it a little bit. And I'm pretty much at a point where I'm going to stop. This is my basic baby shape, and then from here I'm going to go in the next video and show you guys how I polish them and how I make the details so that it really looks like a baby. I hope this video was helpful, you guys. If you enjoyed it, please let me know, and also if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. Stay tuned for part 2 on how to sculpt your very own mini silicone doll.